G'day guys, Ralph here from Top Gun Welding Australia. Today we're going to be unboxing and setting up the Cut42 plasma. The Cut42 plasma is a single phase 40 amp machine capable of cutting up to 20 mm material. The package contents include an air line, the Cut42 plasma, a plasma torch, an earth lead and some consumables and a manual. To install the Top Gun IPT60 torch, simply remove the protector and insert the torch end into the large connection. There is a keyway to ensure the correct orientation. Just push in reasonably firm and then simply do it up until it pulls in the entire way. You don't need to put excessive torque on this to tighten it. And there we go. The only other connection needing to be made is attaching the supplied earth lead into the bayo. Just simply push in the keyway and rotate until firm. It would pay from time to time to just check that this is firmly connected to ensure a proper earth. The Cut42 comes supplied with the water trap regulator, and this has a standard fitting on it. You may need to change this to a JMac or a Nitto to suit your workshop air supply. So now you've connected the power and your air to the machine, we need to ensure our workpiece is ready to cut, has a good solid earth connection, and you have the appropriate safety gear on. We'd normally recommend between a shade 5 and a shade 8, but depending on your eyesight, some people prefer to wear a welding helmet while cutting with a plasma. You want to ensure that your shoes are covered, you're wearing long pants, your hands are covered because it is liquefying hot metal. So before proceeding to the cutting process, we're just going to quickly talk about the IPT60 torch and its consumables and the orientation they need to be installed and how to install them. The first part is the electrode. The electrode needs to be screwed into the head. This needs to be a firm connection using the supplied spanner. The next part is the swirl ring. The swirl ring needs to be inspected to make sure there's no debris to stop it tightening down properly. The next part is the cutting nozzle. We need to match the cutting nozzle to the electrode that's been installed, as there are a couple of options, including extended and short. Simply slide on over the top. The last part is the retaining cap and the guide. These need to be replaced periodically, as well as the electrode and the nozzle. So inspecting this before each use is recommended. There is a safety guard in place to ensure that if the consumables are not installed correctly, the machine will not operate. With the machine turned on, we're going to explain some of the functions on the face. To adjust your ampage, you can turn counterclockwise for thinner material and clockwise for thicker material. The indicators show power, if there is a fault, if there is an issue with the consumables because of the safety switch on the torch, and if the cutting power has been adjusted. The other functions are to test air, normal cutting, and perforated cutting. When in perforated cutting mode, it stops extinguishing the arc between cuts to allow you to do multiple cuts on perforated material. Normal cutting mode is for everyday cutting and use of this machine. The test air function will be when you're setting your regulator pressure. To adjust your air pressure, simply pull up the cap, turn clockwise to increase and counterclockwise to decrease, and make sure to use the test air function to confirm that your pressure is correct. Your air supply should always be clean, dry air, whether this is a filter in line at your compressor or prior to the plasma, just to ensure no moisture makes its way to the cutting torch to do damage. So now that we've connected our power, we've plugged in our air. Just a note on the air. We want around 70 to 90 psi from your compressor, and we want the regulator on the machine set to around 0.5 megapascals, which equates to roughly 70 psi. We understand the functions and settings of the machine. We've got our workpiece securely fastened to the earth, and we have all the appropriate safety equipment. We're ready to start cutting. Now that we're ready to cut, Alan will demonstrate the features of the torch, including the safety cover. This will stop you accidentally triggering the torch before you're ready to cut. When it comes time to cut material, you'll generally start with a pierce, which you'll start at 30-degree angle and then slowly move up into the 90-degree position and cut in the direction you desire. While cutting, there should be a trail of sparks following around 30 degrees from the direction off the torch travel, indicating the correct cutting speed.